All right, all right, all right. It is that time of the week. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining. We'll be letting people into the room. This is Friday with the founders. Most likely, it's just going to be me here today. Guy is traveling, so it's going to be Friday with the founder. And I'm so excited to have you guys on. A little bit of ground rules. This is a time we get to come together once a week to talk all things Elify. Share tips, tricks, answer questions, do all of that type of stuff. A few different things. There is a reactions tab in Zoom. If you're joining us live and you want to come on, ask a question, share a tip or a trick, go on ahead and use that reactions to raise your hand, and we'll call on in the order that people raise their hand. Additionally, if you don't feel like speaking, you can always throw your comment or question in the chat, and I will try and monitor everything there as well. Just to start out, if you are joining us, tell us where you're joining from. Go ahead and throw in your digital business card so we can all connect and network. And yeah, let's get this thing on the road. First, thanks for taking time with your Friday to join us. It's good to see everybody. Got Rose Michelle coming in, Brenda, Mike, it's good to see you. Shelley, always a pleasure. Thanks for coming on. If you've been following us this week, and we're almost halfway, a little over halfway through March, we're finishing up or rounding out Q1 of 2022. If you've been following along this week, we've been talking about the topic of time freedom. And this is something I'm really passionate about. If I was being completely honest, I think it's one of the things that has impacted our decision to create Elify and focus on what we're doing. And really, it's one of those reasons why I believe that entrepreneurship and business ownership are probably some of the best paths to get to time freedom. With that being said, that's also one of the things why we want to focus on creating and providing tools that support entrepreneurs, support business owners, support marketers, support sales professionals, support direct sellers, because we know a lot of those individuals are going down that path in order to achieve time freedom. And we think it's the leveraging of technology and tools that can really create efficiencies in their business and help them free up more time and get to that ultimate goal of time freedom as well. In addition, we've also focused on not just creating the tools, but creating a path for people to access entrepreneurship and access business ownership through our Elify affiliate program. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit later on in today's conversation. But before I get too deep into it, if anybody has any questions, any comments, anything to add on the topic of time freedom, maybe you've had time freedom for a long time and you have a tip to share with somebody. Maybe it's something you're working on and you haven't realized yet and you have a question. Think about adding that into the chat or putting that comment together. I wanted to prepare coming on here, and I was thinking, and I saw a trailer, I think it was, or a commercial, and the gist of the whole thing was your life, my life is like a movie that's playing out in front of our eyes 1 second at a time when you think about it, right? And, how will we each spend our time, and will it be something that's worth replaying back, right? We all love a good movie. We all love to rewatch that movie. I want you to think about that, because all too often, we understand how short life is, and we talked about it this week. Time is this finite thing. It's not an infinite thing. We always think about it. We've got all the time in the world, but the reality is it's not. We get a dash between two dates, and it is something that is this invaluable resource when we step back and we start thinking about our time, how we invest our time, and how we spend our time. And, it shouldn't be something that we squander or freely sell to other people. And I think that's what a lot of people get into that trap of, and maybe by necessity, right? I need to sell my time for money in order to pay my bills. And then I just get into that vicious cycle or that vicious trap that's often referred to as the rat race, and sort of scale our lives as our income scales up, but never really taking full control over all of our time. And so, look, if you're somebody who, has somebody buying your time, or if you're somebody who's selling your time, this is the conversation for you, because that's our goal. We want to help you get that time back. And in my mind, it's not something that happens overnight. Yes, you can find people out there who have gotten all complete time freedom in a relatively short amount of time. But for the masses, for everybody, I truly believe there's a path that you can go down and you can chip away at rescuing your time, getting it back, and ultimately taking control over all of your time and having complete time freedom. And time freedom is going to mean different things to different people. But my definition is you get to do what you want when you want. If we're talking adding in that location freedom pillar, Guy would always say, I want to do what I want, when I want, where I want. And I think that's pretty powerful. You factor that in with financial freedom, and you really have this trifecta of things that you can really stand on. And I think that's where Elify comes in. The first thing we talked about this week was creating efficiencies in whatever we're doing. When I think about the addressable market for Elify, and we talk about entrepreneurs, business owners, work-at-home professionals, salespeople, direct sellers, etc., there's such a massive total addressable market. And what do I mean by that? Who uses business cards? Let's start out by thinking about that, right? Hundreds of millions of people. Guy mentioned the statistic this week, 27 million business cards are being printed every single day. That's 10 billion cards a year. Those are all being purchased by people. And we truly think there's a better way to leverage technology to create a digital business card. But that's just the tip of the iceberg with our shuffle technology. It's the same thing. Who deals with customers? Who manages relationships? These are all people who could benefit from our technology, and areas where our technology can be applied, either on the relationship side, right? Starting the relationship with the introduction, managing the relationship, setting the follow-up reminders, doing those types of things, and continuing to have those interactions, those meaningful interactions that result in sales, right? The 5 to 7 interaction points that typically it takes to generate a sale. And then on the other side is the marketing side. Shuffle is a platform, right? It's a robust platform. It started out with digital business cards, but you can really create any type of landing page. And that's what I really like. I've seen everything from an invite to an event, to a holiday greeting card, to a service or product overview card, video landing page, link hub, all created on the platform. And again, in a way to get information out there to support somebody's business, somebody's venture, somebody's objective of leveraging this technology to get information in front of people. And then I think about the other side, right? The affiliate side of it, and how often people struggle to get out of the rat race and look for a path that they can follow. And we've talked a lot about process and path over the last months, really, on all of this stuff. And, if you were on our mastermind yesterday, and Anna, I'm going to maybe call you out in a second here, because we were talking about this and you had brought this up. I didn't draw it in a quadrant format, because I'm assuming that that's probably copywritten, but I did draw it out here, where you've got things like, employment. Then we've heard it, self-employed, right? Business owner, investor. Where do you fall on this spectrum? Are you in multiple places in this spectrum? And have you found yourself in that trap of going from being an employee to being self-employed, but to Anna's point yesterday, realizing all you've done is you own your own job? I think that's this very powerful statement, because one of the things that we didn't talk about yesterday, but I think it's pertinent today, is the difference between that self-employed category and the business owner category. And the real thing with this, the B that we all want to be in, yes, we all want to be in the investor category, but that takes capital, right? Which we're all working towards. We want our money to work for us so we can have time freedom. And these two things, the business ownership and the investor category, that equals time freedom. And here's the reality with business ownership, and a lot of people who start out in the self-employed category before they get to business ownership, is you have a few paths to be a business owner or an entrepreneur, right? You can start a business from scratch. My first business, and I'm thankful for my dad for this. He got me started. He's always been an entrepreneur. I live in Colorado. It was, mowing lawns in the summer and shoveling snow in the wintertime, right? And then my dad showed me, okay, you can go talk to all of your neighbors whenever the snow hits and offer them to shovel their driveway and charge them $20 or $30. And look, with your time, you can create an income. And then he showed me, you can set up a contract with these people, right? And if it snows more than 2 or 3 inches, then you're automatically going to go over there. You don't even need to knock on their door, and you can shovel their snow and, put the invoice on their door, and they'll pay you for this. And then he showed me, wouldn't it be great if your friends wanted some spending money? You could actually give them jobs, right? Get some of these houses, it snows, have them go out, pay them a portion of what was paid by your customer, and you keep the difference. That was leverage. And it was like this aha moment. And he really showed me that the difference between being self-employed and owning your own job and a business is, in a business, you own a system, right? You own a system. There is a process that you follow. In a lot of cases, it leverages other people. And I always come back to this John Paul Getty quote that I love to share. It's like, just such a great quote when you sit back and think about it. And I always paraphrase it, but his quote was, I'd rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people than 100% of my own efforts, right? This is an industrialist, right? Think about this, a big oil tycoon, 1% of the effort of 100 people than 100% of my own effort. And really, he's talking about employees, right? Or even contractors, self-employed people, right? If I can leverage them, and if you're being leveraged right now, if you've sold your time to somebody else, we talked about calculating the value of your time. What is that worth? There's a good chance the value that the employee or the self-employed person is creating for the business, that value is much more than the business is paying them. It goes back to my, shoveling example, right? If I got $30 to shovel somebody's driveway and I paid my friend $20, I got to keep 10. Wow, I didn't have to do any work. I had the time free while they were shoveling, and they got paid and I got paid. Now I owned a system. I could scale that. I could have more houses, find more neighborhoods, do all of that. And it was very powerful. So it's about owning a system. It's about owning a process that you can run over and over and over again. And that's something that's scalable and is not limited by your individual efforts or your individual time. So I want you to think about that. Maybe you are in that trap where you've segued from being an employee to being self-employed, but you're still in that trap of having to use your time to accomplish everything. We want to step back and think about what vehicle can take us to having a system or a process. And getting that time back and leveraging that system or that process to generate an income. And my paraphrased or my adjustment on the John Paul Getty quote is, I'd rather have 1% of the effort of 1,000 people, right? Because there's no way I can put in 1,000% effort. We're all limited. We all have the same 24 hours in the day, and those 24 hours aren't even guaranteed to us. I can't tell you what's going to happen to me this afternoon, and I hope it's great things, but there's risk there. So we have to start thinking or adjust our mind frame to that. I see some comments in here, and I want to open this up for general discussion as well, or any tips, tricks, questions, things like that. I also want to call out Rose Michelle. Thanks for your comment on my dad is smart. I want to talk about something because most people don't know this part of my story. I'm a first generation American. My father is an immigrant. He came from Eastern Germany just before the Berlin Wall went up, right? After World War II, Eastern Berlin and Eastern Germany was not an awesome place. And him and my grandmother came to America with the clothes on their back. My dad had 2 pairs of clothes and a teddy bear, learned to speak English, living in somebody's attic, watching cartoons. And his first job was a paper route when he was a young man. And I think this is something that a lot of us miss in the American dream, and why when we take a step back and we see immigrants who come to the United States still believe in that American dream, that if you work hard enough, create a business, you can be as successful as you want to be. And that was something that was shown to me. My peers around me, they were of generations of Americans, and a lot of them didn't have or share that mentality, right? Instead, it was, if I want something, my parents might buy it for me. And that was not the case for me. I always tell people, I grew up just rich enough to grow up poor, around all my peers. Maybe you were in that situation, right? They always had the nice things and you always had the hand-me-downs or the used stuff. But there's a mind frame that happens there that says, look, if there's something you want, you can go out and get it. You have the choice of how you spend your time. And I think this is something that as well helped me understand that, right? We may be selling our time right now. Maybe you're in that trap of having to go and sell your time to somebody else from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Anna, you mentioned it yesterday. There's still a way for you to find 5 to 7 hours a week if you really wanted to. I can show you how to get 1 or 2 hours back, right? Get up an hour early, stay up an hour later. There's 2 hours that you have complete control of. Or maybe you're in that mind frame where you're so exhausted from that 9 to 5 that you want to spend that extra time you have sort of relaxing. Look, how do you invest your time? And what is that going to do? Is it going to pay dividends for you in the future? Because there are things you can do with your time, that minimal amount of free time that you may have, that you can start a business. You can start something. You can learn a skill. Maybe you start investing your time in learning that skill, understanding that process. Jeff was on the call yesterday. Hey, Jeff, good to have you on again. And he just talked about copywriting and how he's become a student of some of the best copywriting masters. And we're going to be talking about some of that next week as well. I think that's probably going to be the topic for next week, Roundtable Mastermind on Thursday. Jeff, if you're available, I'd really like to dive into that because we can all acquire skills. Like, this is the beauty of knowledge, is in today's day and age, you can pretty much research, learn, or find that knowledge directly online, independent of where you're at right now. And if you become a student of that, educate it, get educated, and then the key here, implement it, right? Jeff didn't just become a student of copywriting, he implements what he learns. And so you can acquire knowledge, you can acquire skills, you can implement those things. If Ruben was on here, and maybe he is, you can take massive action and do those things daily, and it's going to start yielding some results. It may not be the overnight result that you want, but it will be forward progress and change you from where you are to where you're going. So I'm going to get off my soapbox here, guys. I don't want to be the only one talking on Friday with the founders here, but hopefully what I've said just in this start has inspired you a little bit. And if there's anybody else out there that wants to comment, throw out their story, share a tip or trick, or ask a question, please unmute yourself. Go ahead. Yeah, Jeff, I see your hand go up. Go ahead, my friend.
Sorry, I'm late. This whole Colorado, Iowa time difference always throws me off. Actually, I was on your sites, ER. I was doing some deep dive into the affiliate, information, and just every once in a while, it's good for us to get into not just the Elify site and our cards, but dive into your affiliate site, dive into the affiliate agreement and all of that, because you need to refresh yourself on that, because I know that when I go to sign someone up, it's like, oh heck, where do I go to then get them signed up as an affiliate, and the W-9 and all that.
Yep.
And that's part of what I'm working on in a whole separate project is an affiliate program. And so I'm sort of seeing what you guys and some of the other software companies out there are doing. And so one of the questions I have for you, ER, that can help us all is this. I went into my all of my back office and to all of my different levels, and I see that I've got a lot of free users, people that I've done a card for or talked to, and and it's sometimes we're too busy going back outside of the bushes to look for new, when we've got people who are probably interested and we maybe just didn't do the right follow-up.
Yep.
So could you address the proper way and the appropriate way to go into our network, the people that you can see are free users, and maybe put together, I always like to put together an irresistible offer. So I want to create a card that is sent directly to people that, hey, I see that blah, 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 and give them an opportunity to just put it in the front of their thinking. Could you address that for us?
Yeah. First of all, Jeff, thanks for that question. Because here's the reality, right? A lot of people end up always panning for new gold when they don't realize that there's all this gold dust already in the mats. That's sort of my analogy for Jeff, what you're talking about, because there is a strategy to start to grow as an affiliate here, as an entrepreneur here with Elify, by going out and just giving free cards to people. I truly think everybody in the world, and this is why we offer a free digital business card, should have a digital business card, right? It's going to save the environment. It's also going to be a pathway where nobody has an excuse not to have a digital business card that they can share with other people. However, with that being said, to Jeff's point, if you don't take the actions or the steps after that first enrollment, you're missing out. A few things will happen, right? They may stay as a free user forever. They may go dormant, right? They may not continue to use. They may not be aware of what they have at their disposal or what additional elements are there for them. And Jeff, one of the things that I think about, and I want to write it up on the board here because I think sometimes I learn best through illustration. I think about there's three really segments of the business process. And this is pretty much typical for all businesses. So Elify is no exception. Your business probably is no exception either. The first one, and I've covered this before, is what I call LG. It's an acronym for lead generation, okay? And so lead generation, every business has to generate leads. Maybe you're buying a list, maybe you're going to networking events, maybe you're networking online, maybe you've got a lead funnel, a lead magnet, a lead capture page, etc. But you have to have people to get your offering in front of, right? Our lead generation might be going to a networking event, sharing our card and introducing ourselves to people and meeting new people that we add to our contacts. Then you have this process called H to E, right? Hello to enrollment. And for all of us, we talked about it. That's like the 5 to 12 interactions that happen when somebody decides to make an informed decision to become a customer of yours. The timeline on this could be long, it could be short, it could happen the same day, it could happen over months, but every business has lead generation and hello to enrollment. And the key area, Jeff, that we're talking about right here in your question happens right here, and we call it PE, post-enrollment. What happens after you've gotten a customer? Because you want to retain that customer for life, and you want to extend that customer's basket size on your offerings, right? Anna, I see you nodding your head. It's like, hey, look, the company I represent has 50 million different products in its catalog, and your customer might be buying one of those things. But if they could buy 2 or 3, and Jeff, that's where I'm getting at with this long-winded answer to your question is, they came in and their post-enrollment purchase was a free business card, okay? But did you know that they can use the tap card with their free business card? What a great upsell offering. You know what I mean? Hey, I see that you have a free business card, but did you know the company has released new technology to make offline sharing of that card frictionless, you know, or whatever your copy is going to be about this offering. And what you're doing is you're following up with them with that value add. And hey, it's not a recurring subscription, it's a one-time purchase. But think about this, they go from free to a paid user by adding this. And now their card, in essence, is on file, Jeff. And then in that free account, I also want everybody else to know this. There are pop-ups, there are banners in there where they can actually try the full-blown version of Shuffle for $1. Maybe they're not even aware of that, Jeff. Hey, a lot has changed. The company's added a lot of new functionality, things like campaigns to track different ways that you're sharing your card, additional templates for multiple cards. And if you upgrade your account, you'll not just have one free business card, you can have up to 10 landing pages, and you can try this for $1 for a month. Again, we want to entice them to say, look, lean into this. Again, these are all different strategies. The first one might be getting the tap or trying out the full program for $1 and looking at that. Other things, I was on with Ruben the other morning, and Ruben, good to see you on. And you mentioned building or helping that person get started. I always come back to this lead generation, hello to enrollment, and post-enrollment, because here's what we all do. We all spend 99% of our time looking for lead generation, right? Oh, if I just had more people to talk to, life would be so much better. And I'm going to tell you that you're sort of flawed in your thinking there. Then in hello to enrollment, we look for the quick sale. right? What is the one and done? If I just had people who I talked to one time and they bought my stuff, that would be so great, right? And we typically miss out on those other interactions. We talk about 80% of people don't follow up past 2 times. 50% don't even follow up a single time. And here's the reality. Post-enrollment, less than 1%, okay? Less than 1%. And post-enrollment is where your work begins, to Jeff's point. Where my work begins in any business is I've got customers and I need to service those customers. If you're in a business where the moment you sign somebody up or you get paid off of that customer, you leave to go find the next one, you're missing out on massive opportunity. And what is that referred to in business? That's opportunity cost. You're giving up everything that can come from that customer, right? If you're talking business, we talk about an acronym or average lifetime value, right? Maybe you've heard that. That looks at the whole lifetime of that customer. If they're buying a recurring product from you, how long are they going to buy on average? For how much? That tells you how much that person is worth in a way to you. But here's the reality. Your customer isn't just worth their average lifetime value. Jeff, to your point, you could follow up with those people and, hey, if the upsell offer isn't for you, here's a tap card you can add. Here's a $1 trial to all of the premium services. To Ruben's point, I would love to show you or help you build a card, your first card if you haven't built one yet. You know what I mean? Or to Mike Snow's last week comment, we scanned his card, he had the lead capture, and he was offering a free business analysis. Let me come in and see where technology can support and create some efficiencies for you and where I can provide some service to you to help you identify some things, right? You want to be a servant leader to your customers. The other thing is your customers are more likely to lead you to your next customer. And it's so much easier to retain a customer and extend their basket size, their average lifetime value for you, than it is to go out to the lead generation side where most everybody is trying to generate that next customer, especially when we talk about a time investment. You know what I mean? Really, when you're talking about what you do with your customers in post-enrollment is you invest time into your customers, and that increases the average lifetime value. That increases the retention. That increases the referral rate for those people. So Jeff, I know that's been a long-winded thing on your question, but I would go down that process. There isn't one fixed, do this, then do this, then do this, because we talk about personalization. That's the other thing. Every customer is unique. If I have a customer who runs a brick and mortar, I'm going to be focused on how they can leverage our technology in their brick and mortar business. If I have a customer who just does, the ATM process and direct sales on social media, you know what I mean? I want to show them how they could be in there posting information within those groups to maybe generate more leads or generate more customers, etc. So hopefully that helps give you some insight. And if you have any insight to add, I welcome that.
Yeah, I was jotting down some notes. So one of the, and again, I always look at, I'm following a guy that works with emotional questioning and stuff, yep, where you sit back and you relax and you say less and you ask, questions that actually elicit and cause the person that you're talking to sell themselves, because that's really what we don't want to push. We don't want to be salesy. Yep. And so what I'm trying to do is actually master some of those skills so that I can ask the right questions and then shut my mouth. As a coach, that ain't easy. And so, then here's the thing. I came up with an acronym. I love acronym, you guys. So if you want to write this down, automate the sequence. Because what did the boss just show us? ER just showed us a sequence after I asked a question. Automate the sequence with what? An Elify card. I mean, again, I have 100 cards. I've built a card for literally anything and everything that you can possibly think of. Mm-hmm. Getting a friend request on Facebook. I want to automate that, and I've got a card, but I still need to update. But here's the point: if you can take what ER just said, and I wrote some notes here, and so reaching out to people is a struggle. People are like, gosh, I don't know what to say to Jeff. I don't know what to say to Mike or Brenda or Anna. So here's a good copy introduction. Hey, ER, I'm reaching out, and this is one of the biggest words you can ever use in copy. The word is because. They did studies where you literally can cut in front of somebody in a line. Oh, excuse me, I need to cut in front of you because they don't even need to hear what the reason is. The minute you say because, a person is like, oh, okay, they just need to know there's a reason. So when you say, hey, ER, I'm reaching out to you because I see that you still have an active account. You know, I was in my back office and I stumbled across, see that you still have an active account, but I see that it's a free account. And help me out here, ER, but with exactly, if I see it's a free account, does that mean that, yeah, they took advantage of that, but they haven't upgraded to a paid account? They haven't optimized or maximized their account. So I don't say you don't have a paid account yet. I say it doesn't look like that you've had the chance to optimize your account. And so here's what I want to update you on what Elify is doing. Bullet points, bing, bullet, they're doing this, this, and this. Now, in addition to that, and this is what good affiliates do, you take what the company's doing, you take what Elify gives us, bullet point that, and then you say, what can I, Mike or Brenda, or what any of you out there, we all have unique abilities and talents. I start to build an offer based on what I can do, simply save time, and I give them this, this, and this. For me, it's with one of the software, I'm going to say, listen, if you want to hop on a video call, let's open up your account, take a look, and I will show you, in addition to this, I will do this for you. I'm going to build you your own card. I'm going to literally walk you through. I've got a bit, and I'm going to automate that. I'm going to have a video where, I do a quick how-to or whatever. So what I'm trying to get at is make sure your offer is not just what the software or the company that you're with offers. Because if you're with a company with a ton of reps, let's say the folks out there in network marketing, you got 10,000 reps that you call your family. You know what? They're your competitors. Sorry. They're your competitors. And what you need to do is say, hey, our company's got a special 10% off on the protein shake, blah, blah, blah. In addition to that, I am going to hop on a one-on-one 10-minute consultation and show you how to do the whatever. I mean, and you all just think about your own gig. I really don't. I want to make sure you're thinking about your gig and how it helps the other person get results. Focus on their results, open the door with the results they want, listen, ask the right questions, and then think quickly. Elify solves the problem, fills the gap because it does this, because it does this. Oh, and by the way, did you know this? And in addition to that, I am going to do, you know what? I'm going to do something special for you. Is that all right? And then you ask that question. Always learn how to do a pattern interrupt with a question. Does that sound good? Does that sound like something you'd want to do? Does that sound like something you want to move forward on that we could do together? Once you get them to agree a few times, now you get them on a video call, and then you walk them through whatever you need to do, whatever you've offered them. And again, what I offer isn't the same as what Mike and Brenda and Anna, you guys offer what you uniquely can offer to bring value to that unique customer, that avatar. End of sermon.
No, Jeff, I think that's great. And Ruben, we'll get to you in 1 second. I want to add on, Jeff, your comment that you bring skills to the table in addition to Elify, right? So, hey, I see that you're on a complimentary version of Shuffle. I want to make sure you've been maximizing your results. And I've been using Shuffle for X amount of time. And as a person who studies copywriting, I would love to offer you a review of your cards because I can build cards that convert or something like that, because we all have this value. And I think there's also this opportunity, if you introduce them to Elify, that you are by de facto their guide in a way, and you can step in as that guide to some degree and offer some additional value or insight. Remember, when you see that they're in your network, but they're only for free, Jeff, we don't give you that granular insight, right? We have to protect the privacy. We can't tell you, okay, they built this many or this one card, this is what's on it, unless they've shared that with you. So you have to assume certain things. At least they're on a free account, but maybe they haven't maximized it to its full potential. And as somebody who's of help to them, you want to show them how to maximize that. And if they're okay with that, then allow them to carve out a little bit of time to watch something, see something, talk with you. Obviously, there's a lot of other gold that Jeff dropped in there, right? Whether it's NLP type of stuff, pattern disruptor type of stuff. Remember, the person asking the question is the person who controls the conversation. There's an old saying, right? Telling isn't selling. You want to ask the questions. Ask them because they're going to tell you what their needs are, what their problems are. And then you can position your offering, whether that's Elify or whether that's anything in between, to be a solve or a solution to those problems. So Ruben, you chimed in. Go ahead, my friend. Thank you for joining.
Great comments, Jeff. And I really like to do a one-to-one with you to get the content, because I think content's king. I'm sorry I'm a little late, but every Friday now it's opened up. We have a large networking group, over 50 something members, but because of weather and everything, about 20 of them showed up. But ER and I've been working with this one new Elify member that just came on with her card, and she showed up to the meetings, and she's new to the networking group, so she's really brand new. So I went up to her. I asked her if she got onto her account, and she did. So after the meeting, it was really interesting. The leader of the meeting asked us, when we stood up to do our 60-second elevator speech, he said, "Tell us what your home run is. Who are you looking for?" And just about 7 of them wanted a divorce attorney. And I wrote it down: divorce attorney, divorce attorney. This particular lady is into mortgage, and she said she wanted contractors and divorce attorneys or whatever. There was a divorce attorney in the group, okay? And I watched her. She picked up his business card. So after the meeting, I had her come over. I had my laptop open. I said, "Okay, now I want you to log into your account. I want to show you a few things." And then I said, "You have your app on your phone?" And then she said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, where did you just get his business card?" "Yeah." So I showed her how to go ahead and take a picture and load in the business card into the contact. There were 2 people behind us looking at what I was doing with her. One of them builds websites, and he said, "Hey, Ruben, how much does that cost?" I mean, it's amazing in a group, the synergy. And I think Mike Stone always points this out, is that the wow factor can be animated. So maybe we don't have the words down yet, and it's a challenge for me. I tried. I think Kathy got me on this book here called Book Words Itself. I still have to work on that because I'm planning on doing my own videos. But in that interim, you can act, you can be yourself and engage and have an audience by wowing people. And it was really a kind of an interesting thing, and she really loved it. And as she knows, she's contacting other people within the group on it. So I think, in essence, it really had an effect.
I love that story, Ruben, and thank you for sharing. And I want to, one of the things that I like to do as I listen is draw out a few different things. One is the process, right? Think about this process that Ruben was talking about that's supported by the technology. If you get somebody's business card, you can do object content recognition. OCR is what it's called, right? To scan that business card and bring that contact directly into your contacts and shuffle. Then if you go under that contact and you go to the promotional cards, you can create a promotional card for that person whose contact information you just imported. Then you can create a sample for that person to show them, here's a digital marketing piece, a digital business card that you can use that's the same, or in my opinion, better than what you're currently doing, and then there can be a segue in. The other thing, if you're just creating that magic, as Ruben was talking about, right? It's an experience. When I tap my information to somebody's device and the link pops up on their phone, in their eyes, that is magic. That is the experience. And once you did it to them, they want to create that for other people. That's like the web designer standing behind Ruben, seeing what he's doing, knowing with some degree of skill set in technology, wow, this is a powerful platform. It must cost a lot. And he asks this buying question. These are the things you keep your ears open for, like Jeff was talking about, right? You have one of these and you have 2 of these, so you got to use these twice as often. And you're thinking, what did they just ask? They asked how much? Man, they're starting to go down the path to qualify themselves Is this something I can leverage? Is this something I can afford? When you hear that type of stuff, you're like, oh, it's a powerful tool. You'd think it would break the bank, but it's actually quite reasonable. $20 per month to get access to all of this stuff. If you have 10 minutes, we can link up later on and I can give you a quick demo or an overview. Again, all of this because there is this total addressable market from the tools and the tech that's available within Elify, whether that's Tap, whether that's Shuffle, whether that's our mission to continue to bring new technology forward. And you look at that total addressable market. Are you an employee? Do you have business cards? Okay, Elify can help. Are you self-employed? Wow, you just left the workforce and you started your own gig. What's the first thing you do? You generate a business card, you change a bit, right? Okay, Elify can help. You probably are managing contacts. If you're a contractor trying to get clients, there's tools within this platform that can support you, right? Are you a business owner? Do you have employees or self-employed contractors that work for you? This technology can plug into that and support you, right? Are you an investor? Maybe you're an investor who's talking to people looking at the startups or things like that. Again, are there some tools in the platform that can help you? When you start to understand what you have at your disposal, and this is really the big question for everybody watching this, do you understand what you have at your disposal? Because once you understand, you can start to ask the questions like Jeff was talking about to discover what the issues or the problems are. This is, again, another process, right? If I know that Anna has one problem and I know that the tool that I have solves 10 problems, of which one matches what Anna has already identified to me, I'm not going to spend an hour talking about the other 9 solutions to Anna. I just have to position the one solution to her one problem as the fix and show her that the value in that is worth spending for it. And when you think about what you have, and Jeff, going back to the pathway to really fill up the pipeline, if you want to create lead generation, guys, here's the tip. If you want to create lead generation in your Elify affiliate business, go out this week or next week and set yourself a goal. I want to give away 10 business cards to people. I want to give away 25 business cards to people. Go on social media or LinkedIn, find some businesses that are in a category that you're in and just reach out to those people. Hey, saw your profile, wanted to give you a free business card. See what happens. You know what I mean? But if you start out there, then you can work on the hello to enrollment to go from a free card to something premium. Hey, tell me a little bit more about your business. Start listening and you can discover what other upsells or value adds you can offer in to extend their basket size and retain them longer. On the post-enrollment side, do you know anybody else who could benefit from this? Like the powerful questions that we can ask other people. Have you ever been out there prospecting and the person says no to you and then you turn and walk away? Instead of saying, hey, I know it's not for you, Anna, right now, but do you know anybody? Like, that's a powerful statement. Do you know anybody who could benefit from a digital business card? Great. Something else to look at, Jeff, as you dig into your network. In addition to the free people, look at who in your network may have referred a sub-referral, somebody in your network referrals, right? Not just the direct referrals, but the network referrals. I've actually come across a lot of people who are just customers who have made sub referrals, right? They're out there using their Shuffle, they're out there using their Tap, and they showed it to somebody, and then that person who they showed it to took it upon themselves to go and enroll. And that person might not even be aware that there's an affiliate program. They're leaving money on the table. Again, in our heart, we want everybody to benefit from the people that they help bring to this community. I had somebody reach out to us the other day. We were going through customer service tickets. I like to keep our eyes on what's going on. And they said, hey, we just signed up. I just want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. So-and-so referred me. And I want to make sure that that they got credit for that. We looked in the system, they had already gotten credit, but just to see that there are people out there who say, look, I want to make sure that people understand. People will take you to other people if they see value in what you are doing. But make sure you're solving problems and not just pushing a product or a service, right? Any other questions, thoughts, comments? I see some good stuff. Jeff, thanks for putting some of that copy in the chat. Again, if you're watching this live on YouTube, it's it's worth its weight in gold to come over here onto the Zoom, because you're not going to see some of this chat stuff. Also, I know, Jeff, a few people wanted to reach out to you. Make sure you put your card in there so everybody can network together. And that's what this is all about. We all want to support each other as a community here. I'm freely giving you this knowledge, guys. This is something that the gurus out there are charging the big ticket items for, and that's where they're making their money, right? Come to my weekend workshop. I'll tell you all things business, and it's only going to cost you an arm and a leg. No, guys, come on. The information is out there. So you might as well at least leverage it, because most of those people who pay for that stuff don't implement it in the first place. So I want you to learn the knowledge, and then your call to action is to implement it. Mike, thank you. Come on, my friend, drop some knowledge on us.
Okay. I'm going back to where you started, when you started about time freedom. I've been in business now for 41 years. And I've done everything, all the network marketing, all of that. I've been out there, started one of my first businesses in First Germany, right outside of Nuremberg. Kicked off one of my first business back in 76. Cool. And I've been in it deep, doing it all. And I've always listened to these people that are leaders within these network marketing companies and all of that, and they strive to make so much money. They want to be this and have the car and have all of that and the lifestyle and all of that. And I was always on that rat race, on that wheel. I want to get there too. But like you said, the thing that you are always striving for is time freedom. Okay, if I'm working a job and I only make $5,000 a month, why do I need $1 million to be free? So I don't. Once I realized that all I needed to do was replace what I was giving up my time for, and then I was free. And I've been free ever since. I sit and wear out chairs, because I sit right here. I sit and wear out chairs. Got me a new one because I wore out that other one. So the freedom, I'm telling you, once you realize that and you replace whatever income you had going on with whatever job or where you were selling, time for money, once you can replace that, now you are now free. You wake up when you're tired of sleeping. You do what you want when you want. And what I noticed is when I could do what I want when I want, that opened me up to so much other opportunities. So much. Because I'm not spending those hours, those 8 to 5, doing something for somebody else. I got all day that I do for me. And I get into things. I run into Shuffle. I decide, okay, Shuffle's a great thing. I'm going to do more than just use it for a card. I'm going to build a network. And I'm going to tell everybody to tell everybody. Other thing that you had brought up was referral and actually using referral. I am a digital marketing strategist. I help my clients market all over the place. But guess what? Mike Snow doesn't market. I don't have to. Why? Because referral and word of mouth is the most powerful way to market, and it's never going to change. Because when my friend or your friend tells you that Mike Snow is gold, all you hear is gold. I don't know who Mike Snow is, but he's gold. I'm going to talk to him. And do you have the share going where I can share my screen?
Let me let you share. Try to share and it might pop it up for me, Mike. Go ahead.
All right. Let's see. Go here.
I'm going to make you a co-host at least. There we go.
Did it pop?
Yep, you're up there. I see it. Go ahead.
Okay. This is my card. And this is the card that I give all of my clients, everybody that, requests my card, they get this card. But the key thing about this card is refer me to your family and friends. I don't have to market, because once they get my service, or basically they interact with me, they say that guy knows what he's doing. I'm going to tell my friends. They click on that, and this tells them what to do to fill out this form to refer their friends right to my what? Where do those friends go? Right to my CRM, right inside of Shuffle, and I send them my card. It's done. Do that every day, all day. I get referrals every day going in. Now, I also give them a carrot for doing it. If they refer 3 of their friends to me, then they get their coaching from me for free. That's the carrot. And will they do that? Yes, amen. They will do that on a regular basis. Okay? All righty.
Awesome, Mike. Thank you so much for dropping that. And amen to what you said on 2 parts, guys. And again, this is why we come together as a community, so that we can work together. There's an old methodology, right? The high tide raises all ships, and to Mike's point, the thing I want to call out, he basically dropped the secret to everything, right? The secret to everything on time freedom is you got to replace what you currently are exchanging time for money for. Everybody has a different number. Write down what your number is, and then start looking at what you can do with the time that you have to generate a passive residual income stream. So that way, as it ticks up, and it might not be something that happens overnight, right? If you need to make $5,000 to replace that JOB, start chipping away. The moment you make $100, you're a little bit of the way there. The moment you make $1,000, you're 20% of the way there. The moment you get to $4,000, maybe you're working 1 day a week to cover the rest of the bills. Eventually, it happens that you replace it. And to Mike's point, now you're completely free. You have control of your time. Isn't that the definition of retirement? Like I said earlier, complete control of your time. Then with that free time, you can start to scale that income, right? And then you can start to scale your lifestyle. And Mike, I love what you say, because they're selling the dream, right? You see those cars behind me? You see that house behind me? Guys, you're not going to see more of my lifestyle than my office, because this is where I go to work. Maybe someday you'll see that I live in my dream home, in my dream place, that I've owned my dream car, all of those types of things. But that's not what I'm shaking in front of you guys to say, hey, this is what you can do, because I'm not trying to sell you the dream. I'm trying to show you a path to where you can write your own dream, and that's what I think we're all working towards. The other thing is what Mike was talking about. Leverage the technology, use it to your advantage, and seek out those referrals. The number one form of marketing is word of mouth marketing, just like Mike said. Number one. And it's been that way forever. Anybody who's ever taken a marketing course, there's a whole section of the book that's focused on how do I get my customers to bring me my next customers. Do you know why Elify has an affiliate program? Because we want our customers who love us to take us to our next customers, right? And we want to pay you or compensate you for doing that. Just like Mike says, look, if you bring me 3 people, you get yours for free. That's exponential growth, right? If every person brought him 3 new people, those 3 new people would turn into 9 new people. You know what I mean? It is a compounding effect. But if you don't know these strategies, step 1 is to learn them. Understand that they exist. A lot of people think that the only path is the path that they're on, right? Go to school. Talk about this. Get a good job, right? Work for 40 years. And if you're lucky and you follow that should do path that Anna, you were talking about, you may get to retire after 40 years. Guys, there are other paths out there. There are other vehicles out there. And that's what this community is about. So Anna, I see your hand up. Go ahead. And Mike, thank you again for all of that information. I'm wearing out chairs too, buddy.
It's going to be the claim to fame. Wearing out the chairs. I love what Mike had to say. Pretty amazing. I took a lot of notes in that very short period of time. I just want to cover again the way most people move through their lives. We go through the employment. We work for somebody else. We exchange for money. And then we discover that having our own business gives us a little more flexibility, some tax breaks, which is always important. Spend your money first, pay taxes later. Love that concept. Saves families thousands of dollars a year just to have a business. Self-employed. I have a skill that I can market, but you spend all your time marketing your skill and not making real connections. I love what we're doing here because it's about sharing. Cooperation versus competition. Joint venturing. That's what we're all doing here, is we're joint venturing with each other to help build each other's businesses. the global community is huge. We don't have to compete with each other. And people will still buy from whom they know, like, and trust. So I just think that this is great leverage. And what we do here in these meetings is cooperate with each other. And I just say, share if you care, babe.
Anna, so true, so true. And look, there used to be this strategy. I showed this self-employed, the business owner. There used to be this saying, right? Entrepreneurs are the only people who will work 80 hours a week to avoid working 40 hours a week. That's so true when you're getting started. If you've never been down this path, it is an upfront investment that pays dividends down the line, right? But you have to be willing to make some sacrifices. And I think all too often we get into this culture of instant gratification. I need it now, and I need it to be easy, right? If there was that easy button everybody could push and we just all became millionaires overnight, wouldn't that be wonderful? It just doesn't exist. But there are these vehicles and these paths that we've been talking about, and it is that abundance mentality. I just want to lean into the one thing, Anna, you were talking about. There are literally over 100 million potential customers for Elify's technology. You know, who's going to go out and get them? Because we all get to stake our claim and share in the revenue behind it. That's the abundance mentality. Look, we're not trying over here at the corporate side to compete against any one of you. You know, in fact, you are able to offer Elify Shuffle for less than what we're directly selling it online for. You can actually bring additional value if somebody learns about it and comes in through you. Again, that high tide raises all ships. We're happy to do that because we want to support the success of everybody. You know, I remember, Anna, just real quick, or everybody, my early 20s, right? I was stumbled upon the internet, affiliate marketing. We were working from what was essentially a college dorm room, making mailbox money through our computers. I had to explain to my parents what affiliate marketing was and how you could make money on the internet, which was less than a decade old. And it was just such a foreign concept. And that was that aha moment for me that, like, whoa, there's a better way. I'm going to university over here, looking at a career path, and I'm already making more over here than that career path would produce. Well, what, you know, and it's scalable. So that's the things to start thinking about. Danon, I see your hand up. Go ahead, my friend. Thanks for joining.
Hello, everybody. My question is, when you put a person in your contact and you make them a promo card, if you delete them out of your contacts, what happens to the promo card?
It should get cleared. I can't guarantee that. It might be floating out in the ether somewhere. Be aware of that, but it should get cleared out. And if it's not, you've stumbled upon that, or maybe you're getting a notification that you have this phantom promo card getting viewed, you know, you might want to let us know on the support side. Additionally, and this is something that Kathy mentions all the time on Tech Tuesday, don't delete. I mean, you can add more cards. Look, if you have contacts in your shuffle, you can have them forever. You know, you can merge them if they end up becoming a customer and things like that. But I'd recommend, Danon, don't delete your contacts. That's your list. Your list is gold. You know what I mean? Even if that person doesn't do business with you now, most often a no, you know, for those who are listening, is just a not right now. The timing is wrong. The offering is wrong. You just want to continue to do that follow-up. And follow-up isn't that pushy, reach out to you every day, bye. Follow-up is that, you know, tickle outreach. Hey, just thinking about you. If you were at, Danon, you were at the event we did in Dallas in October. And remember when Michael Ray said, everybody pull out your phones, scroll through your contact list, pick a name, and then just text that person. And the text he had as an outreach, and this sort of goes to what Jeff was talking about on copywriting. Hey, it's so-and-so, was just thinking about you. Hope everything is going great. You know what I mean? And then just set your phone down. And what was crazy about that just little test is everybody in the room within 5-10 minutes got a response back from that person. And it could have been a person I hadn't talked to in 10 years. You know, oh, ER. Wow, it's been a long time. Yeah, thinking about you too. Now that you mention it, we should catch up. You know, we should, thanks for that message. It really meant a lot to me. Wow, I needed that. It brightened up my day, all of that type of stuff. So Long story short, it's supposed to delete if you delete that contact, but my recommendation is keep every contact that you get. Your network, guys, your network is your net worth. All of those people are your potential customers or your potential referring partners. You need to leverage it as much as you can and make sure that you're working it. This is why in Shuffle, in your contacts, everybody, you've got follow-ups. You can set a follow-up for tomorrow. You can set a follow-up for 10 years from now. Just set follow-ups on everybody. If you go into your list and sort your list by follow-ups, and there are people in your list right now that do not have a follow-up attached to them, this is your opportunity when you're will, skill, and refilling over the weekend to sit there while you're watching that movie and go through on your mobile phone and take a few notes and set a follow-up. And you might not follow up with everybody in your list tomorrow, but if you set some continual follow-ups and then follow through with following up on that list, you're going to start to engage more with those individuals. Then you can make that determination. I've got people in my phone from high school. You know what I mean? I probably haven't talked to them in a while and I need to follow up with them. Do what I say, not what I do type of thing. But there is that opportunity out there, Dana. And so I would say, let us know if you're still getting phantom view notifications, because that means somebody's looking at the card you created for them as a promo card. But if you've deleted it, it's supposed to go away.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Guys, we are 1 minute past the hour. I want to leave this open for any last questions here. I'm happy to go a little bit over. If you have a question, you can put it in the chat. Ruben, I saw your hand go up, so I'm going to jump over to you first. Go ahead, Ruben.
Okay. Just that in order to get to this networking event I went to this morning, I had to spend $61 to fill my gas tank.
Yeah.
The paint that I use for my paintings like that has increased 30%. The frames are outrageous.
Yeah.
Everybody is right now needing a factor, and the factor is multiple levels of income. There's some great companies out there that you can become affiliate with. And I'm an affiliate with Send Out Cards, okay? Send Out Cards is a great tool that people can, thank you for whatever. But guess what? In the back of the card is an opportunity for your QR code and selling Shuffle. So there's so many opportunities. The main thing, everybody needs revenue. And the way you get revenue is referrals. And it always goes back to that. So great points on everybody here. I want to learn about copy from Jeff. I want to learn a little bit more experience from Mike. And there's all kinds of people that I can learn from. But that's the key. Guys, we need multiple levels of income to get through this.
Ruben, so true. I always say this story. I had a mentor. He said, I can show you how to build an online website that generates income. But if you're looking to create one website that creates $1 million for you, I am not your mentor. I am not your guy. I'm not your coach, because I've never done that in my life. He goes, I can create a website that generates $100 a month, $200 a month, $300 a month. The trouble is I've got 1,000 of those websites. Take a step back and think about that, right? If you could find a product, a solution, an offering that's done something for you, and we do this every day. Anna mentioned it on Thursday. We are all being influenced by other people, and we have to realize as well, we have influence over other people. We've all made a recommendation in our life. We just may not have been paid for that recommendation. Have you ever told somebody, oh man, we were out the other day, we went to a restaurant, best restaurant. I'll tell you guys right now, recommendation, if you're ever in Colorado, Los Dos Potrillos, right? The Two Horses is the best Mexican food restaurant in where I live. They've got 4 locations. The family is an amazing family-owned business, and they live not too far away from me. We just went there. My family's in town. The kids are on spring break. We went out to dinner last night. Best. Guys, that's how you make a recommendation. Somebody's either going to listen to that and take your advice because you have some credibility and they trust you, or they're not. But you got to get out and make a recommendation, right? It could be a movie you saw. It could be a restaurant you ate at. It could be a product you use. Everything that you consume, you've consumed for a reason. And if it's had an impact on you and you've had a pleasurable experience with that, you can turn around and share that with somebody else. And to Ruben's point, there are so many companies out there that offer some type of a referral, reward, or affiliate program. I've talked about books that I've listened to and created book cards right? Here's an audiobook. I'm a big audiobook person. That's Audible, Amazon, affiliate. You know what I mean?
So how soon is your restaurant going to become referable?
Right?
Yeah.
We'll have to
How
look at
much
that.
easier is it to just pull them up on your contact base and send a card?
Put it out. I'll build one of those this weekend. I'll show everybody next week.
Yeah, I have to jump in because if you guys are friends with me on Facebook, I took my bride out for an Irish dinner. She's Irish, to a local restaurant where I love the guy. I want to keep him in business. If you go to my post on my personal Facebook page, see, I did a collage of pictures. I had him pose. I've written things inside of the town's Des Moines restaurant thing. And then I put it, and then I tag not only Alejandro, the owner, but I tag his restaurant. And so it gets back onto their Facebook page. You do things like that for the services you like, you guys. Do you think that Alejandro will let me pop my laptop up, sit and have a beer with him and show him how to use this and put a QR code? Hey, let me make a card for you that offers, when they go to your Facebook page, they scan the QR code. You come in, you buy a drink, you get a free drink. You buy a dinner, you get a free dinner. And once and again, it's one of those places you go once, you're there for life. So great point, ER. But if you guys aren't friends with me, go ahead and friend me up and see what I post. And I do this totally with no obligation to businesses. I love local business. And if you do that, it was a brainstorm. I wasn't even doing it with that incentive, but I thought, well, I need to talk to Alejandro about getting him set up. He's got a Facebook page, but doesn't really have a website. I could cook him up a card in no time. And
he'd have a website.
Yep. And then you'd have a website.
Yeah. So anyway, that just tagged down to your point.
I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you as well. Obviously, we've talked about time freedom, and you guys have given us a bit of your time today to interact and watch this. I hope that you've gotten a return on that time investment. I know we're a bit over. I've got two more items I want to go through. Rose Michelle, I know you don't want to come on usually, and I won't force you to, but I did see a great question on there on how do you respond when somebody says that they will be in contact with you when they're ready. And Anna, I really appreciate you making the comments back. Here's the reality. If you can set every interaction with the expectation of the next interaction, great. But is it okay if I reach out to you if I don't hear from you in 6 months or in 3 weeks or in a week? You can always ask that question, but try never to put the ball in their court with respect to the next interaction. And when you get into that habit loop, as we would call it, right? Every interaction ends with the expectation of the next interaction. That next interaction could be tomorrow, could be 5 minutes from now, it could be 6 months down the road. Yeah, you've just said it. And then what you'll be amazed is when you set the expectation and you follow through, your credibility goes up. I can't tell you the number of times I've had a reminder go off and it's been a few months and I reach out to that person. And I say, hey, Anna, we had a great conversation a few months back and you told me it would be okay to follow up with you in a few months. And Anna's like, I do recall that because you painted the picture back to me. And oh, by the way, I'm pretty surprised because most people who I push off that way don't follow through. And you are somebody who follows through. Therefore, your credibility goes up. So, Rose Michelle, I hope some of that helps you out.
I just want to interject one thing.
Go ahead, Anna.
With that, because you did that very, very well. But honestly, when you follow up with this particular technology, you just tell them, listen, things are moving so fast and they're adding new things all the time. Can I just touch base with you and let you know what we're adding? Mm-hmm. Period.
And this is what I love, guys, about this community and this abundance mentality and the ability for us to come together and share these best practices, tips, and tricks. You're going to find what works for you. I had held up that article this week, is selling an art or a science? And it's a combination of both. You need to find out what works for you and your style, but know that you're going to be implementing a process. Maybe it's using that same question. I've seen Ruben hold up that book before of like 100 questions to ask that Kathy was talking about. Find those questions that work for you. Don't read them like they're a script. Hi, this is ER is so and so, Find out the language that works for you Make it about the practice, because as you practice something, you get better at it, So do 100 calls and watch what happens, because your 100th call is going to be 1,000 times better than your first call. I promise you that. Okay, guys, in closing, a little bit of housekeeping. We roll into the weekend. We talk about will, skill, and refill. If you've got time available, I encourage you to do that. The will is, what are you working towards? What is that? What is that dream? What is that goal? The skill, are you acquiring the knowledge, the skills, and the tools to be prepared to execute on that plan to reach your goal, your will? Okay. And the refill is about doing that practice daily. Again, it's not about the destination. Everybody gets fixated on that. It's about the practice, because the practice daily is what yields the result. Now, we do 4 calls a week. You've just been on our Friday with the founders call, 10 a.m. Mountain Time on Fridays. Guys, the other 3 calls that'll be happening next week, and we do them every week, 52 weeks a year. Monday sprint planning. Do you have a plan for the next week coming ahead? You should be reviewing how you did this week and what adjustments you can be making. This is no different than that NFLer who goes on Monday and comes in and watches the game film and says, missed that step. Could have done that better. And then makes the adjustment. We improve over time. That's part of the practice, guys. Monday, we're going to go through making a plan, preparing to execute that plan, and putting that plan into action. It's not about the next year. It's about the next week ahead, and then one day at a time. On Tuesdays, it's Tech Tuesday with Kathy. If somebody hasn't posted in the week at a glance card, please, if you have the link, go on ahead and throw that in. I'll share it right now. But on Tuesday, we do Tech Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central Time with Kathy. All of these have direct links to the Zoom, so they're real easy to share. If you know somebody who needs to learn about the technology, Jeff, those people who might be using that free account but maybe not leveraging all the things, hey, did you know there's a Tuesday call going on about training about Shuffle? Make sure you're leveraging all the components here. Thought you might benefit from having the link. We're going to go through everything revolving around the technology. We want everybody to be an expert, and you don't need to be a coder, a programmer, a designer to become an expert at this technology. Wednesday, we partnered with Edge Global. That's the mindset of a champion. You can plug in on some of that. On Thursday, we do our roundtable mastermind. Pick a topic. We talk about it. Guys, next week, Jeff's already volunteered. We're going to be talking about copywriting. I personally think content is king, because that's what the eyeballs are seeing. I always say our platform is like an art gallery. The content, the copy, is the art that you're hanging on the wall. And that's going to determine whether the person who's viewing your content, your shuffle cards, are taking the actions you want them to take. Okay. That circles us back around to Friday with the founders. If you're on this week at a glance card, I also want to call out the Facebook groups, the YouTube channel, some of the social media. You can engage in this community. Why? Because there's a bunch of people just like you who want to help and support you in your success, independent of what you're doing. We've got people in all walks of life and all business types on this, and we're all working together to be successful. Last thing that I want to do real quick, guys, we didn't even cover it. Elify's affiliate program. There's a way you can get paid to share. We've talked about it throughout this call. You can go on to elifyshuffle.com/affiliate. Jeff was talking about researching a little bit into here. We've made it real simple. The payout structure is on here. It's super easy to understand. If you have questions, reach out to the community. There's even a commission calculator. So if you want that time freedom, just adjust the calculator to equal the amount that you need to replace, and you can determine what you need to do to make it happen. Whether it's going to take you a year, 2 years, 3 years, 6 months, that choice is yours based on the activity that you do. Becoming an affiliate is pretty simple, guys. You go over to affiliate.elify.com. You fill out 3 data fields, 4 data fields, agree. You can review the policies and stuff like that, and you hit become an affiliate. Everybody gets a little code. In this case, for our demo account, it's Douglas.Baldwin. So you'll see on any of the pages or sites we list out, you just put your code on them when you're sharing them with people. You can share Shuffle, you can share Tap, you can share the affiliate program. To Ruben's point, and this is what I want to say in closing. Pre-pandemic, there was a study that went out where the average person, and I think it was like 80% of Americans, could not afford a $500 unexpected expense. if it happened to them.
No,
This is
they-
pre-pandemic, guys. What happens when the world shuts down? What happens now that we're coming back out of it? What happens when the moratoriums on, mortgage payments and rent payments and all that stuff, they're getting ready to end the student loan payments, all of that type of stuff. There are people out there who are looking for multiple streams of income. You right now have the ability to not just leverage this technology, but to show people that there's a path to entrepreneurship, a path to business ownership, and a path to time freedom. Take an opportunity to get out there and share the word, because you can stake your claim. We're on a mission to spread Elify to the rest of the world. We're going to do it. Whether you're on board or not, I'm going to keep on keeping on, my friends. And I hope that you're along for the ride, because I love each and every one of you. And I want to thank you guys again for a little bit of your time on Friday. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Make the most out of it. Use your time and invest your time wisely. And we will see everybody on Monday. Thank you again, everybody. Take care. Good to see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.